Today, we will be looking at the 10 reasons why Netflix could lose the streaming wars. If you have been trying to learn more about the streaming wars and want to know where your favorite streaming service stands, then this one is for you. 10 years ago, Netflix was one of the best names in the streaming scene. But in the past year, the platform has been dealing with a seriously bad situation. They are losing hundreds of thousands of subscribers every quarter. In 2022, the streaming giant lost well over 1 million subscribers. This also affected their value in the stock market. In short, streaming wars aren't so great on Netflix's end of the battlefield. But what exactly is it that's making them lose, and if they are losing, who's winning? Throughout this video, we will be sharing the 10 reasons why Netflix could lose the streaming wars, along with who is winning them. But before we get started, please remember to take a quick second and support our content by liking, subscribing, and turning the notification bell on. This helps us create more videos like this for your entertainment. If you're all set, then let's get started. Number 1. They have continuously been rising their subscription rates. Having to make cutbacks comes with the constantly increasing inflation rates. Thus, many people are being forced to budget out their expenses nowadays, and these budget cuts often include a reconsideration of how much value we get from each service that we pay for. Once a service starts being too costly without actually proving worthy of the price, most of us decide to opt out of these subscription plans. As of late, Netflix tends to be one such subscription that many people have been bidding adieu to. With the constant increase in Netflix's subscription prices, users have an extra incentive to either share their accounts with others or seek entertainment from other streaming platforms. However, this works bidirectionally as Netflix has to increase prices to keep themselves afloat with less subscribers. Now, while this seems to be a never-ending vicious cycle, the streaming service seems to have a solution that will ease the minds of its subscribers. They plan on coming up with a budget-friendly plan that's rumored to cost less than the standard package. Sadly, there is a catch for the affordability. By choosing this package, you will also agree to viewing adverts in the middle of your binge watching. However, all hope isn't lost just yet. The adverts aren't set in stone, and considering how Netflix had a no-ads policy at the start, this will likely be nothing but a last resort for the streaming giant. Number 2, they have been canceling more and more shows over the past couple years. It's in the nature of streaming platforms, everyone knows that. Another piece of common knowledge is that Netflix is the only streaming platform that holds the record for canceling as many shows as they do. However, they also produce the most content in the industry. In this light, it's easy to see that not all shows will be big hits. While this is the name of the game, fans are usually not fond of finding their favorite cinematic universes left for abandonment. Save for the short-lived hit Sense8, many shows ended with a cliffhanger to leave room for future reboots. This turns the Netflix roster into a graveyard of projects that were fan favorites in a not-so-far-away galaxy. Big networks like Fox have a long-withstanding tradition of abandoning shows to rot in these graveyards. They did it with so many shows, including the fan favorite, Prodigal Son. However, we live in times where trends outdo traditions, so Netflix, being the more trendy alternative to traditional networks, holds more prominence. Plus, they probably canceled more shows than Fox did in the recent years, if we are actually being realistic. Number 3, they have been losing individual users to shared accounts. If you had the opportunity to watch Stranger Things, Midnight Mass, and other Netflix sensations for free, would you take it? We sure would. This is the mentality of people behind sharing, borrowing, or even pirating Netflix accounts, and the streaming platform isn't happy with the outcome. Account sharing is one of the top reasons why Netflix has been losing subscribers. Since they have to stay afloat somehow to shoot the next Stranger Things season, they came up with a clever workaround. Therefore, starting with Latin American countries, Netflix has rolled out a small fee for people who share their accounts with loved ones living in different households. Reportedly, costs start from $2 and go up to $3 per month for each additional individual. While this is better than Netflix rolling out an update that detects and bans shared accounts, it financially strains people to be paying for each friend who wants to share their Netflix account. It also creates an imbalance in pay. The only way of avoiding this imbalance is, of course, not sharing your passwords with people. If they can afford to spend money on other luxuries without letting you indulge in it with them, they can survive without your Netflix passwords. Trust us, it's for the best. However, if your loved ones really can't afford to pay full price for a Netflix subscription, then it might be worth a shot to ask them if they could chip in to pay the cost of your joint account. It's only fair, you guys. Though any educated guess would tell you that Netflix probably prefers the former to the latter, remember, they are in a financial rut too. Number 4, they have been failing to stop pirated accounts. Pirated Netflix accounts are almost as common as shared Netflix accounts. People all over the internet are offering access to the streaming platform for a fraction of the actual price or even for free. Truth be told, Netflix does not have the ability to stop this. Since detecting this kind of activity requires long hours of professional effort and does not always come to fruition, the company may have just decided to let sleeping dogs lie, therefore trying to find other methods of authenticating usage. While all these efforts seem to have failed so far, it is hard to tell what the future holds for the company, being that they have lost quite the number of users over the year of 2022. Number 5, they have been showing up with lower quality content. Oftentimes, one show could be on more than one other streaming platform. Now, while this is great for the subscribers side of things, it can heat up the war between different platforms, leading to a fight for who will put up higher quality content in their original section. Currently, Netflix does not have the best array of options available. Company officials even went as far to say that the platform's fate largely depended on the sci-fi series Stranger Things. Due to their content being lower quality than it was in the past, Netflix has been facing serious backlash from users, which was evident from the drop in their numbers and the users' complaints all over social media. So, what does this mean for Netflix, you ask? Well, unless they start putting out better content, the numbers will likely continue to decrease. However, with their budgeting capabilities as of late, the best they could do is to keep Stranger Things afloat. Number 6, they have been affected by things going back to how they were before COVID-19. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit back in 2020, people were cut short of in-person entertainment methods such as clubs, bars, and most importantly, movie theaters. At the time, streaming platforms became a big hit thanks to the access they provided to licensed content. Combined with good stereo systems, Netflix became an affordable movie theater that everyone could have at home. However, as the years passed and the COVID-19 pandemic started to die down, things started to go back to in-person. Slowly but surely, the new normal started to include movie theaters in its scope as well, which made people feel okay to abandon their subscriptions and go have the in-person movie experience with their loved ones. While some people held on to their subscriptions for TV and original content, some figured it was an unnecessary expense, therefore opting out of Netflix. Number 7, they have a lot of competition. While Netflix was one of the first and biggest names to enter the streaming platform business, it certainly was not the only one. In the world of business, when people see a good investment with low risk, they take it. This is precisely what Netflix's competitors did. They saw a hole in the market and decided to fill it. Therefore, as the years passed by, users started to gain options as Netflix gained competition. Fast forward to our day, Netflix does not seem to be coping extremely well with said competition now that it has fallen short of the top spot in the streaming wars. While it is impossible for a business as big as Netflix to not bounce back from this, their reputation will likely be scarred for years to come, unless they take some serious action. But this also begs the question of who actually is winning the streaming wars, so let's give it a look. Who is winning the streaming wars? The competition in the streaming platform business is dubbed as the streaming wars. This competition fluctuates almost every 3 months or so, matching the quarterly statements from each business. It also determines who takes the lead in the industry. So before we wrap this video up, we wanted to give you a quick rundown of who is in the lead with the streaming wars as of late. Number 1, HBO Max. HBO Max has a less is more approach towards streaming, and people who have been needing a fresh take on streaming services have been eating this up. Studio producers think that HBO Max has been coming out on top because it never fails to produce the overall best original content. Combined with the new Discovery section and other shows and movies that it has accumulated, HBO Max's remarkable content makes it a powerful machine within the industry. The biggest secret? Always having at least one show that remains culturally relevant at all times. So when people come looking for something they can relate to while laughing or ugly crying, HBO Max always has just the thing. Number 2, Disney+. Disney+ entered the market more recently than its competitors, especially internationally, but it has made some significant progress since. In fact, many Disney+ agents argue that it would feel like HBO Max if it joined forces with Hulu. So what exactly is it that gives Disney+ the second spot on the winning list? Well, the answer is quite simple. Star Wars and Marvel, of course. While Star Wars takes the lead, people still look out for each and every Marvel movie. Both franchises have strong collections of shows and/or movies with some promising future projects. Number 3, Netflix. Netflix managed to make it into the top 3 despite the rough year that it has had. This should tell us a lot about how well built their subscriber base is, along with how far ahead they are in world-class business and momentum. While they still hold a lot of stocks, they are falling behind on product value. While competitors have multiple flagship franchises that keep them going, Netflix is barely clinging to one, maybe 2 things to keep it afloat. However, with better strategies and better content, they might recover quickly. And that marks the end of our video. If you enjoyed watching this, then be sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up. Want to be the first one to know when we have a new video? Then turn on the bell to be notified every time we upload one. Finally, if you're looking for something to binge on, you can click the video that's currently on your screen. And we'll see you in our next video.